Okay, so we've all heard of DNA, but a lot of us don't know exactly what DNA is. Or we've heard the term genes. We've all heard genes, but a lot of us don't know what a gene actually is. So today we're just going to explore a couple of those topics. I'm going to try to explain very simply what DNA is, as well as what genes are. Okay? And we're going to start our little journey here in the cell. Okay? Inside of the cell, we have a portion called the nucleus. And in the nucleus, we have these structures called chromosomes. Okay? In most of our cells, we have 23 pairs of these chromosomes. Okay? But in cells like sperm and egg, those only have 23. Okay? 23 total. And what a chromosome is it's really just an organized structure that's composed of DNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid, plus proteins. And these proteins are known as histones. Okay? So DNA is like a long string, and these histones are kind of like these little circular things here. Okay, so these are the histones. And DNA kind of wraps itself around these histones. Okay. So it kind of wraps its way around these histones. And when that happens, you get this organized structure known as a chromosome. Okay? Now, let's talk about what DNA is. So let's take a piece of this DNA and let's kind of blow it up. Now, DNA is shaped kind of like a twisted ladder. So the molecule DNA is shaped like a twisted ladder. Okay, so if you imagine a ladder and you twisted it, that's what it's like. We call that a double helix. Now, I'm going to untwist that ladder so we can kind of look at this in a little different way. So this is the ladder, and I've untwisted it. And these are the edges of the ladder. And the edges of the ladder are composed of a sugar, and that sugar is called deoxyribose. Okay. Along with deoxyribose, we have phosphate. So this is called a sugar phosphate backbone. Deoxyribose is the sugar, phosphate's the backbone. And this is why that's how DNA gets part of its name, deoxyribonucleic acid, because of the deoxyribose sugar that's a component of this backbone. Now, the components that make up the steps of the ladder are called nucleotides, or sometimes they're just called bases. And there are 4 of them. And these 4 bases are guanine, and we just call this G, adenine, we call this A, cytosine, call this C, and thymine, we call this T. Now, guanine and adenine are known as purines. Okay, chemically they are purines. And cytosine and thymine are called pyrimidines. Now, these are going to make up the rungs of the ladder. Okay, they're going to make up the steps of the ladder. And they're going to do that by basically pairing with each other. So, for example, guanine is going to pair with cytosine. Always. That's always the rule. Okay? And same way the other way. Cytosine always pairs with guanine. See how we're making the steps? Now, adenine is going to pair with thymine. And again, thymine is going to pair with adenine. Now, in most of your cells, you actually have about 6 billion of these letters. Okay, 3 billion on each side. And they always pair this way. Okay, this rule is never broken. Okay, so I'm just going to draw in some more here to finish this ladder. Okay, and this is the structure of DNA. So you have a sugar phosphate backbone, And then the rungs of the ladder, the steps, are made up of these chemicals known as purines and pyrimidines. Okay, the purine guanine always base pairs with the pyrimidine cytosine. The pyrimidine cytosine always base pairs with the purine guanine. Okay, same thing with adenine and thymine. And they make up the rungs of this ladder. Okay, we call these base pairs. Okay, so GC, this is a base pair. AT, that's a base pair. TA is a base pair. So that's why we sometimes just call these chemicals bases. Now you might be asking yourself, well, then what's a gene? Well, a gene is really just a sequence of these bases. They're actually much, much longer than this. They can be thousands of these bases long. But anyway, a gene is a sequence of these bases that codes, that holds the information for a functional product. And that functional product is always a protein. Okay, and a protein is just another molecule that has a vast number of functions in the body. For example, proteins make up the cytoskeleton, the skeleton that is present inside of your cells. Proteins make up enzymes that allow chemical reactions to happen more quickly inside your body. Proteins are very, very important. You know, they allow your muscles to contract. They basically allow everything in the body to happen. So that's what a gene is. A gene is a sequence of these nucleotide bases that codes for a functional product, and that functional product is a protein.